Yeah. Because yeah, what's in the near? Yeah, so with the money, and you make sure my name will come here. It's you for the mother fight against the church mother with you. I go for that just on my soon. Yeah, let me get the soon. Would you come for a moment that you come the package at the room? Ama, if you did put you with them one they are the travel yemen of the bed, you been carried. Since you have a follow photo, would you have a carry? Young power, baby, shall have a father. Because I'm in the play, every people want back. People want move. I will put on the test for that. I don't want to find the man. That will do a wood to the band. I'm so happy with people. They got me to my band. I have to be. I think they're who they did our got me to my band. I have to be. One is down, and I have a friend. They got me to my band. I have to be. Who's got to win to find it? I'm to my band, I am to be I'm not a fool, I know that if you think I will leave you out for me, if you leave me, then I'll be here. You have so many things I can't predict, yeah. I'm going back to your name to the one white one. Baby, you wanna give me joy. Make us up a cry. Baby, every food day I will work hard. And if it's true, what is something I know they like you. If you leave me food, and I don't die.
Beloved, I welcome you once again to the Eagles Nest Show. As you know, it is your #1 international program that has been designed to empower you, to educate you as you are a Ghanaian. This is a program that you have to listen to every week, so you will be enlightened, so you will know what is trending in our country. I want you to welcome your sister, your brother onto the show. Share onto your Facebook wall. It's free of charge, and you're not gonna regret it. Today is gonna be another special day, and because we were a very powerful person, and I met today. Just any assembly to Accra. And you say, "I would see me, baby, I will be and my about Eagles Nest." So, as you know, it's the only international program in Ghana at the moment. Areas of Asia, America, UK, all around the world, people are tuning in and watching the Eagles Nest Show. So invite your brother, invite your sister. Not also in tune in, not on share Eagles Nest. Today, as I said, I've got a very important person on the show. And today, as you know, we're going to discuss the government approach, Ghana government approach to the banking crisis. And no, now you ever shown in the government approach to the banking crisis. Kosovo Ghana. And to help me do this discussion is a very important person from the camp of PPP. From the camp of PPP. He is no other than the person, the one in charge of policies. So as I said, he's the director of policy, our PPP. So PPP for policies, no, or no, no, sana, or hese, Bibiana, Ebeba manifesto, no, Eko ye kama pa. Nadine, I am very simple. Mr. Kofi Asamoah Siao. That is the man, the cast. So when you are listening to me, and I welcome you once again, as I said, to the Eagles Nation. So without wasting much time, we will zoom into the discussion straight away, because I know you've been waiting so long for this particular program. So Mr. Cass, you prefer to be called Mr. Siam, or which?
Very simple.
Well, welcome to the Eagles Nation show.
Chief, thank you for having me.
Good. I can see you're trying to position and reposition yourself. Said you're better for better. That is really good, because people are anxious and people are ready to listen to today what is going to happen and what explanation and the concerning the government's approach to the banking crisis. But before we zoom, there hasn't been any problem. You are okay and safe.
Oh, did you kind of remember that was now? Make sure we see for no as for. I point out their mind say, "Yes, you make sure you well. A buying sister, yeah. Say, but what you mean, can you?
Yeah, tell Kappa.
A buying sister, yeah, the far banking sector, no, any who should transfer near it. Maybe I may want to don't want to say I will be able to call. At the COVID-19 environment, we are doing a lot of discussions and programs on the internet. I'm okay. By the grace of God, I'm fine. Maybe I also come. Baby, I'm here.
Oh, yes, yeah, we are doing well. Everybody seems to be okay in my house. So, by the grace of God, said you're sick, and there hasn't been any problem. Now, your Koswa said, Unyankuru Pombe Koswa boy home, na Assembia and answer Amaye Fee. So, we thank God and we are grateful for that. Now, young wasting much time, cry, young fan to pan and she's also young fan discussion is also straight away. As you know, we are dealing with the government approach. The Ghana government, let me be specific, said when somebody is listening to the program, one can say government, we are particularly referring to the Ghana government approach to the banking crisis. Now, to start with, a banking crisis, what does it mean? You define it from the definition of what a banking crisis. Now, for the government approach, because if we don't understand the meaning of a banking crisis, then for the approach now the government are taking as it. So if you can give us a little background of the banking crisis and what it means, now for you check step by step into we look into the approach the government of Ghana are taking in relation to this banking situation.
Okay, Mirasi, did you kind of say you can't say banking crisis? Normally, no, we share a Juma bank in a year, and now Jumedia Air Banks, we are saying a short monster. Banking is an old centuries of history or professional. The shall say banking Juma. Now, bank for my Juma, and say, Sika Abrusu among them. Now, Omode Akoto, now that should be Omuhia, now Omako Bank Wakoji. It's banking crash as the IOU. It's the good in the chassis here. It's all the good Kotoa now we issue people be amount now choose to say IOU. Now and non actually say OBB bank ne ho a actually you betimi e dia kochire na wasan demand what they instantly na say crisis be ba dia bank no so this kind of ho a say be almost so e de yem puntu nyuma ne ade a enfaso be ba so na omatimi tia say almost share obo say interest wo sika no ho a omatia wo sika na ma e bra wo hia because you must get it on demand now for so say interest be almost share obo say omo de be kan sika no ho no omatimi the amount nti no mo so anya bi e de atua dan no omotim ni nipa na yeduma ho no ho ka ne ade so what is kind of kwa they use it for business na omatimi anya mfaso wo sika no so na omatimi atua wo sika potin ne mfaso na bi kan no amount na the crisis be ba na say adwuma ma describe sisi a no ho betimi atochema any say omo bank ne sika no de enyo mo dia ankon na de mu sika ba ho nti say sika no ba ho na say bank ne de adwuma de betimi atochema number 1 any say be a bank ne de sika no ba ko adwuma no o hwa na mfaso na o mo hwehwe no o ma enya no se ne o mo hwehwe no nti eba ne saa de a na say omontumi nya sika botin no ensa nya mfaso no punom de ama nipa na sika ne de a bro from the de deposit ana customer no nti eba ne saa bra customers ni hia mo sika no na omo nsanka nti say be widespread na all the banks normally no banks ni bi so a bank A ejisika otimi de ma bank B because e bi a bank A e wo more customers or more branches nti ono nya sika edoso sin bank B nti bank B is with me abobisia efi bank A o nti say bank B entimi entia na say anase bank B di koshe baabi or the call bank C and or the koshe djuma bi na anyi ya bank C sika no timi hye na say be affect bank B na say be affect bank A na say one hwe na customers ni enyo musika nti be hwe no all the banks any more customers ni nyina no be just kind of be nyina no majority of the customers are not getting their money back and no and their friend say the inability of the banks to respond to deposit demands a bank say there's a run on the banks and you know that is one classic example of banking crisis and they see organ and they see an kind of crisis but then crisis at the time I shall say the see organ was more of a banking sector reform okay yeah the beer send a bank adwuma Ghana no yempe kwan bi so na yenhemu kena na yema munye din ana yemmie ma na yema faso mra so ana bi na mmom yes our reform ni bomo no and the cover what you call crisis by and the first point I may make here the crisis in Ghana as we call it now was actually, if you like, an unintended consequences of the banking sector reform and as a financial sector reform. Also, Ghana no banking no your retail bank and your investment banking. Investment there popular ones, this is Gold Coast name which other ones when we say Fidelity Capital and a lot of other investment bank and as a popular one I can't go for small data bank and them are monthly braining. And see all these institutions, financial investment houses, retail banks, they're from savings and loans. Almost a banks, they're just that for Medina savings and almost even their foreign transactions. And the microfinance institutions. And so these are the 4 financial sectors now and she say be or I buy friend of reforms. Now no buy onion ye make can say unintended consequences. What can be am buying the other say unintended consequences. I'll share the course so far there maybe who is said to some extent, my comment be said there is government complicity in the crisis itself, which means you kind of go to battery ma say aban bone na asi no ene enyoma na ekoso no aban so nsa wo mu bi enti aban nsa wo mu no ye ko ni mechichi mu kakra enti what happened in Ghana was really not a crisis as I described first say
so not just say Mr. Cash what can I say it was a reformer the government of Ghana decided so within the banking sector but because of the reformation and as a reform, whatever, no, and me and we pay an and ended up in crisis.
Exactly the point. Yes, that's the point I'm making now. If you
All
see,
right.
yeah, well, a
Kasa.
situation where the crisis is not bad because your crisis is because customers in Sanko Musika, shareholders lose your banks and your investment, and some of the projects and our loans are IFN assets are a yes and now Japadia, as I say, a war bank, you know, are collapsing, and I say a war shareholders, you know, a more fast one at Ninano, a idea, a yasequa, and see what can mean some bomudia. That is where we have a crisis now. But before there was no crisis, it was just
reforms, you know, were meant to sustain the bank, were meant to make the banking industry, you know, work better. However, yes, because of say anti-me achieve that results in it, you know, that is the reason why your crisis, you know, at the moment.
Exactly the point. Yes. And see,
okay. In this case, you know,
I'm buying a copper buy.
But I buy a copper buy. You remember watching them why I buy a copper buy. The engine of course I buy a copper buy because said the amount for AC can. I think he said one news agency be a Ghana. I think Ghana Web release a statement to be a Bank of Ghana issue here. Now, specifically because of we MPP for Empire for me, sure say you are more or less related to GN Bank. And now say we name the cost. Now, Maminya specifically, I didn't imagine GN Bank a situation said city at the moment. What actually happened?
Okay, the kind of Mamesha Senfi are buying a quenya or say or 3 year and she say na you know you didn't come say ya na okay I'm saying mistaken look and say MPP that na minimum say person say PPP and the every one say me born MPP for this now this kind boy normally government officials any ebia MPP communicators any ebia say be oma nhyɛ dante nsɛm na se no ɛkyerɛ mu a na mo pɛ sɛ ɔmo yi aban esi nkyɛn from Bank of Ghana okɔ yɛ constitution ni ma executive authority of Ghana no ɛhyɛ ɔmampanin nsa ɛwɔ article 58 na okay article 58 na ɔsi saa tumi na ɛhyɛ ɔmampanin nsa no executive decisions na ɔmampanin tumi yɛ no otumi de ma any other body established by law and any other person na ɔno ɔmampanin by appointing no ɛna saa nkɔfoɔ no nyinaa no adwuma bi ɔmo yɛ biara no they do it in the name of the president in terms of 53 article 58 clause 2, 3, and 4. Who say even a minister's action is attributable to the action of the president. And the young share Omampeni and Abaya Omampeni the Dano Minister Ben and Oshana Sia Otimiye reform, Minister of Finance. Two kind I think chapter 13 where it talks about finance. Who the role of finance minister or play. Even budget the parliament, I see honorable kind of reckon at the corner. Constitution, said the president shall cause to be presented to parliament a budget statement 2-3 months before the financial year. Until then, say November, October, and I present the budget for the next year. And the American question say, Honor, so who's a Bank of Ghana, and so yeah, I buy Ninsaba Aqua or the Nejuma. And the Shemra or Ghana, I at 9:30, and the share bank. Banks any savings and loans near there touch many Bank of Ghana some way and homogeneous from the Juma any omotumi article 183 of the constitution and so under finance. Now Shem Ranima, the Minister of Finance has supervisory role over Bank of Ghana. And you be a Bank of Ghana I buy and you come back to question Busayano. My establishing the rights of government to introduce reforms and policies and so on. Now the Minister of Finance now Oye Jumano with Bank of Ghana based on these laws. Share what brought about this whole reform. The woman said, in the opinion of this government, January, February 2019, 2017, almost say banks a week. and after in so much banks that a banks are here. Odo to trouble banks only are there. Yeah, Ghana Bank no they can take on big projects and so on and so forth. So we are increasing minimum capital requirement. Now minimum capital and the share ahoɔden a ɛna kyerɛ w'ahoɔden a wogyina so a wobɛtumi de adi dwuma kɛseɛ ɛwɔ and they say type of customers are and the kinds of loans are wobɛtumi ama and even loans no koraa no which sector of the economy they say oil sector a big area and now importation of crude oil be this for so fish one and ultimately no matters here and the kind of honorable minister of finance any about we buy no they wanted big banks quote and unquote to emerge so everybody should bring money now mistake back home here and they said that the minimum capital at the time almost 120 million Ghana cedi no which at that time was about 30 million or $35 million, straight away, almost jumping into at that time $100 million. It was a 333% increase, and they gave every bank 1 year to raise that money. I think 1.5 years because the announcement came in July, which was so draconian and unreasonable. And at that time, people were saying, why don't you give more time for Ghanaian banks? I don't know. If it's not by force, even such and in America and the UK, there are different banks who do different kinds of projects. And in the end, there's no money came from anywhere. All the banks that survived, they used their existing surpluses in their books to show up the new capital requirement. They already had that money anyway. I'm going to a campaign and Ghanaian banks, Ghanaian banks, now Governor Addison, Abema announcement. These banks have met it. At that time, there were 32, 33 banks. About 20 are meeting, which means he was sending wrong signals onto the market. They didn't manage the communication well. That's the open minimum capital. At the end of the day, no bank was collapsed because of lack of minimum capital requirement. That is a significant thing you must understand. At the end of the day, no bank was collapsed because they couldn't meet the minimum capital requirement. Now, remember the breakdown. There are 9 banks of like now universal banks that collapsed. 9. Out of these 9, 2 were the first to go in 2017. UT Bank and Capital Bank. Omoboni say they were insolvent. Insolvent they say Omodeka kusi say a kana minimum. See omusika no majapade omo. And in the banking law under section 123 at 930, the Bank of Ghana can ask them to revoke their license. And now, okay, 7 kana omunyina consolidated bank. Now the first 5 of the consolidated bank for them, a Royal Bank, Unibank, Base Bank, Sovereign Bank, and Construction Bank. These were the initial 5 banks. Now, Base Bank, Construction Bank, and Sovereign Bank, Omoboni ni say, Sikana Omodibeti Bank, and yes, Papa, quote and unquote, according to Bank of Ghana. And see, you
Jessica Papa, Jessica Papa.
Oh, don't tell me Jessica Papa, say Bank of Ghana, what you say, or Chimu say, Sikana or the Bayer Bank Edumano, and now the best Bank Edumasino. And say, yes, Sika, if you be any home, and now you see me, Ejitum say,
so doesn't mean say what they were saying is there was some fraudulent activities and was it my money laundering kind of situation there?
Not necessarily money laundering. The reason the mind is Sikano in case of these 3 banks, Sikani ye almost Bank of Ghana for an area. Okay. Bank of Ghana for the bank which is a capital bank. And a capital bank edema business for the owners of construction bank. Any sovereign bank and so on. And as a Sikana Omodebet Bank of Ghana for say 70 million and I saw the 70 million Ghana cedi. That's Sikana Omodebet say Omosika Omenya as shareholders Omodebe bank Bank of Ghana for, according to this current governor, that money belongs to them. As as to whether they are right or not is another discussion. But they use that to say, and your mankasa botum sika, and any sika be corporate on the buy. You know, I say, omo do say, sika papa. And a two now can Royal Bank and Unibank. Almost, they were down long before because of, they said they were insolvent. It's Capital Bank, any UT Bank, had the same problem. And at last two, I'm the Heritage Bank. I governor Addison, kind of the press conference in January 2019, after deadline of December 2018 for capital requirement. Like I said, Heritage Bank, and insolvent, which means come the mouth. Ade name momono anse no medu san pempenso o madu almost sika na o de ba e be share bank ni mo no eye nipa na bank ni dia edo agongo no ono nso o mo hwe na kwan of aso nya ni sika ni ade no enye obi a otimi edie bank man e o Ghana man ye o mo nyina so nyina ne se o wasem wo court a se ma me no ka se ye ni wi enso o ma gene bank enti court enka se official ye criminal e comfort e na Bank of Ghana etimi make that assumption say because say Medina court with me bank aduma enye, which is completely unfair. But the infant chain and the Heritage Bank should consider enye minimum capital as them. And last one a Premium Bank. Premium Bank also had problems with insolvency at the time. Amudomo consolidated bank. And to share bank into the 10th bank and a GN Bank. Into member GN Bank. The 10th bank would have been GM, but at the time of the press conference, GM Bank had been downgraded or reclassified as a savings and loans company. So at that time, the minimum capital requirement, a GM Bank in the there were other banks that survived, quote and unquote survived. I said, and see, the banks that went away, one more reason some of them are, and in summary, two reasons, and they collapse all the 9 banks. And I say all the savings and loans club and the microfinance and all of that. They were insolvent or they had problems with their sources of capital. That's all. So minimum capital did not buy and buy. So you see what I'm talking about. That also be mentioned na unibotomu sikakesia. What could you do na panic withdrawal, and that is what GM Bank suffered, making a lot of noise. Customers were going for their money and so on. Now, when customers go for their money that quickly, as a bank, so called GBB or this kind of call and the fast, not the bit your customers maker. And see, when there's panic withdrawal and there's a run on the banks, then the assets which in bank, you can assets are normally loans. Loan now they are more for so only in assets. And see, assets can never fast. And see, those banks couldn't get those monies come quicker because of the time frame, much shortening time, and all those things. At the end of the day, then you went back to say those assets which they couldn't recover now are toxic assets, which means they are bad. So you are rating them off. I said, you can't say write-off in banking. They're trying to say you cannot share. Unsan can be. Share, yeah. Someone said deposit the 100 million a war. And now, what they are share baby. And now, based on explanation, Bank of Ghana for do paper so be a mabaka say 100 million now they share assume say you and now they are some can share. That share good yeah, next way insolvent. To seek out how to try your capital or the bit. But for capital now the bit and 200 million because there's nowhere bank capital more than sika deposit and then the density say once what bobra ubi bank it's normally capital edition bank mono more than less than customers sika amon babeto and this Bank of Ghana bano be says can you good ya let's just say the bank will technically be declared insolvent by Bank of Ghana. So Bank of Ghana also in a way contributed to declaring some of the good assets of the bank as bad debt just by using their pen to say we think this loan is bad so we have cancelled it, it's gone. That's basically what they did. So the point is that these banks went away for these two reasons, and then there were other, if you like, now they call it violations of prudential norms. Now,
Mhm.
it's just big English, but what all that it means, they say, yeah, well, ABR rules and regulations be what you. Now, yes, ABR, member Juma late, and now I saw a report here Juma 7 o'clock. Now, no
Mhm.
time back 7:38, 7:38, 7:38. Or manager, bet me say you are violating, if you like, HR rules and regulations. You wanna.
Mhm.
But so man no tire dismiss our crime option because the amount will be a verbal warning. The amount rating way, the
Rated.
amount
Mhm.
rate and sometimes
Several
we do a
warnings. Yeah.
requirement. Yes, if the punishment actually is that your almost company if you pay. Send a bear as a and that is a form of punishment because who in the pedia and now the nipa to prison and now punishment. It's a bigger offense and a bigger punishment. And now let's come in any so serious offense odibejina so yi pedi enti sa prudential norms na omo kan sisi ai ewo abedane twapia Mr. Kenofurata da bia na oka na prudential norms Bank of Ghana also comes and say it, governor come and say it, Securities and Exchange Commission boss also come and say it, and they make it as if I didn't who be na serious never say it's nothing. In fact, this at 9:30 that I have here list all the prudential norms and requirements of the banks. And
Mhm.
I'll zoom in on GM Bank shortly. But the major point I want to make is that sir requirements now it was at 9:30 now Bank of Ghana for somebody Jumano. And almost just banks near Jumano. Bank be a obebusu biano. And who you can say punishment as our law him.
Mhm.
Nti yeah for GM Bank before I remember your programming me call back to Bank of Ghana for press statement. And now Bonnie
Mhm.
GM Bank for me list here me about let me say 9 or 8. Ni nyinaa no.
And also,
Eh,
Kampabu will be
eh,
on Bessa Waka was it.
but me bona me jebia na o the me jana ka ho.
Aye.
The first issue here insolvency no. And no
Mhm.
and no me ba and also because uh we contest that GN was not insolvent. And
Mhm.
I know as the NTN insolvent ma be chiremu ho. Nti yen ko de aka no so.
All
The
right.
next one, I want to say capital adequacy ratio. No, they are falling below the 10%. And no problem. Capital adequacy ratio here, I say asset over capital. Okay, ode and now loans. Oja pade ni ade a warning. Sika sika wo versus sika. Yen ko for the so the mom. Into almost yes,
Mhm.
calculation now. They normally give the banks 10%, but who falling below all the way to zero and negative. Then let's say as you see cash cry only she let's say won't mean to our Kenya and if I say we are insolvent completely, you are broke. And see capital adequacy ratio so violate here and never more determine say we are insolvent or not insolvent. And it's a Bank of Ghana can say what violates capital adequacy ratio in a way it's related to insolvency. And see it doesn't stand on its own. And no component on the punishment of the second crime liquidity Amadema GM Bank say all the deposited funds now 10% of it as I say I'm from the primary and secondary reserve. I said that Bank of Ghana send a buyer for now loan. Now Bank of Ghana funds say so if I said deposit crash at least 10% there waha a bit in the amount depositors and also violate a friend of prudential norms and can have focus here no. And now audited accounts somebody never come and the boy you could do is say they are publishing your audited account in the year 2019. If you say as a savings and loans or as a bank, your audited account for the previous year 2018. I think I'll publish in April of 2019. It's by the time I'm on press conference now, 16th August, I'm the GGN savings and loans. Now April, now you publish the audited report. and also the whole punishment running. And almost say maybe the affiliate loans. Affiliate also connected to insolvency no nti actually affiliate loans no say odi sika ma company owner no bank no owner no ono na say owner of that company na waju obobusia o bank on nti no so omo the boy kwadu and almost see a dissolving management and maybe omo nya some information just if say receiver no eba ordin elected Bank of Ghana buy no obisia management for bank who no meeting CEO COO, head of finance and administration, head of operations. Everybody was there, head of marketing and sales and all of that. So the management of the bank was there for a meeting with the receiver at the time they came on 16th August, 5 p.m. So what did they mean by in that letter saying that the shareholders are dissolved management? If they are dissolved management, then which people did you do the meeting with? Were they ghosts sitting there when you came for the meeting? So you can't bring a letter saying that management has been dissolved and turn around to meet management. So you see some of these things, a lot of people don't get the information that it was deliberately done to throw the name and that's Ebema Bank, bad name and all of that. Now, the I think the number 8 point I have here is accusation was that GM Bank was collapsed or license revoked because we have closed down branches without telling Bank of Ghana. Now, these things we when we were given downgraded or reclassified, the Bank of Ghana told us to take steps to remove banking to things that were for banks. We should stop doing them, and we should rationalize our branches and staff and so on. Because obviously, a normal here for universal bank different from a normal here for a savings and loans bank. So, as one of the proposals we made, we were the ones who wrote to Bank of Ghana. Said, these are the number of branches we want to suspend. These are the number of branches we want to operate for the meantime and so on, with their prior approval and consent. Now, if you get that letter and request for approval, how do you turn around without commenting on whether you approve or disapprove? Turn around and put it in your letter of revocation that we have actually closed down those branches. It's mischievous. So a lot of people, as a Nemaneba Basano, also Tama. Jesus Christ echo before Pontius Pilate, the crowd was so loud, right? That when Pontius Pilate asked, "What is his crime?" all that the people said is, "Crucify him." Okay, what has GN Bank done? What is their offense? Crucify him. Okay, third time, are they insolvent or not? Look, crucify him. So there was so much noise in the system. People wanted to do their diabolic things, and because we had challenges and some difficulties, they just added all of us to it and said, crucify all of them. That is completely one of the reasons that contributed to the crisis. Now today, GM Bank customers don't have access to their funds. Now, the other issue of insolvency, I may say, let me make this point before I go to deal with the insolvency issue. Now, we challenge the position that according to Act 930, manufacturer etiophobia, Act 930, all this bonia malice wa hanin yana ne penalty na so train ewo emrenim bim and na so train enye revocation of license. And since this is an international program and everybody is listening, I have listed the sections in the Banking Act, right, which talks about the penalties for violating any of them.
Breaching those conditions, right?
Exactly. Right? It's in the law. So Bank of Ghana, what are they talking about? What is operators' business by saying somebody breached prudential norms so their license were revoked? If somebody breached prudential norms, if you jump a red light in Ghana, do you go for firing squad or you go for death sentence? You don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah. So you can't say that, or even let's say somebody's a drunkard, irresponsible. He's engaging in social vices and all of that. Well, if the punishment are listed, you can't say and or consent into police station. Bang. First, now police work out. Obi can no children mother court yourself. all of those things were violations of what the rules
Human
are.
rights, yeah.
Human rights. So the first rule, and I'll read one or two of them.
Okay.
Let's say Section 33 of the banking
Section 33
that one,
of the bank. Okay.
Yes, the Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institution Act 930 for short. This document I'm holding here. Section 33 talks about the capital requirement. It's our capital requirement now. Capital adequacy ratio now. Calculate your money say you're insolvent now. When you breach it, the penalty is listed here that you must pay a fine to Bank of Ghana. In fact, they take it as source. What's a bank be our account to Bank of Ghana?
Yeah.
10% of deposit funds, primary reserve and secondary reserve. Because you have
a deposit with them, so they can take away your money.
They by force, compulsory by force. And risk watch for retiring officers, gold watch, retirement officers. The Bank of Ghana, that is one of the source of their money. You didn't know that one. That's what they do there. When they are going on retirement, they buy very expensive.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And you see, another interesting thing is that Bank of Ghana is 100% owned by Bank of Ghana government. So when Bank of Ghana makes profit, Apromutia, retirement benefit, gold watch in the area, so you see, when Bank of Ghana makes money and do some of these things, they do it on behalf of Ghana government, headed by Nana Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic. So anybody who talks and say Bank of Ghana is independent or not, I don't know what they are talking about. Independent of who? Is this some how do we call it? Some US Truman vessel in international waters that doesn't respond to anybody? No. They have a government and they are there representing the President of Ghana, and all executive decisions according to Article 58 is done in the name of the President. So those people, they should let us know that they are not any independent anything. Now, I was listening them. Section 33, Section 40 deals with liquidity requirement. Section 30 deals, Section 90. That audit report, no see fan corner, share press statement. Deals with audit report that if you don't publish your audit report as required, you pay a fine. And even the fine is
so there is no revocation of license, but you pay a fine.
There's no revocation of license there. Then there is 70. 76 talks about lending to affiliates or insiders and all that. 67 talks about in fact, let me read the one that talks about lending to affiliate companies, because GN problem bako that will be no lending money to affiliate companies. Section 64. I'm reading directly from the book, the law. Okay. Section 64. If you permit me, I will
permit you. We have a lot of time.
So there is. It starts from why you shouldn't. I mean, the limit that you must place on lending to your affiliate and so on and so forth. Then when it gets to Section 64, subsection 4. It says, and I'm this one direct reading: a bank, specialized deposit-taking institution, or financial holding company, which contravenes a provision of this section, is liable to pay to the Bank of Ghana an administrative penalty of 2,500 penalty units. Let me say there's another law that describes like how much is one penalty unit in Ghana law. It is there. I think it's about. I don't want to misinform listeners and viewers, but to be able to know Sika.
The unit. Actually, what we want to know on is there is the punishment for it, whether it's for a fine or license.
Yes, and then there's a fifth one, because they are so serious about that requirement. They went ahead, Section 64, subsection 5. It said a director or key management personnel who contravenes a provision of this section is personally liable to pay to the Bank of Ghana an administrative penalty of 2,500 penalty units. So this is also there. So anybody who you see in the bank mistakenly or in the management of whatever situation the bank had to deal with, approving these loans to affiliates is punishable by the payment of these penalties to the Bank of Ghana. It doesn't talk about revocation. So what is the business of Bank of Ghana talking about these violations as the basis of the revocation of license?
William said, Mr. Kaz, some information that you are giving out is really interesting. And I'm really learning a lot from what you are saying. They are okay. A lot of us don't know what we know. And they say, yes, GN Bank, and you publish a list. But with the name, they say the punishment, attached to it, so material, what can I say? Young funny say, even said GN Bank in Pokora, a British something. There is the punishment says they have to pay a fine. Instead of, so let's put it in this context. Say, any bank if be a one Ghana be and someone break it that this particular law, then there is no need for you to revoke their license. But rather,
the point.
So then what is going on?
So the I think is a bit of the objectives of government were different from what we were told. Into the money is different. It's also first of all, the initial reform was about recapitalization. But no bank, at the end of the day, no bank brought money. So if that was the objective, why wasn't it met? In fact, there was another point I wanted to make before. Banks now young collapse. They still couldn't meet the capital requirement.
They couldn't meet it.
They couldn't meet it. There are 5 banks, and I hope I will be able to mention one of them offhand. 2 banks joined and they became one. So Omni Basic is number 1, but there were 2. So Basic, Omni Basic. The second one is NIB, ADB, UMB, and Prudential Bank. So all these 5 banks I've mentioned, 3 are private and 2 are government. Now, is it not surprising that Abaya or no say Obianko Fasika Kesiemra? Sabano by our arrangement, or who can no be a bank. But because all your banks, ultimately is a bar. And think on a paper man, we are buying on out to me who can so this is a bank. Bank na bank ni bino. And ka and say na all day bano. And ka who say also ultimately this way, me buana.
Oh yeah, first of because you are the leader, so you have to lead by example.
And I say first of all, even before you come to leading by example, you must assess yourself. Say, you cannot say Dr. Paco Sindum Kofamra as recapitalized. Who government of Ghana you can afford? You get it. You get the point. Now, who Ghana government? You have 2 banks. You said you can't afford to bring 400 million. In the case of NIB and ADB, yet you are running on these people, starting on rooftop that they should bring 400 million. That's one side. The second side is that after you have even brought it, then finally say you didn't even do a calculation to know that you can afford or not. When it happened, you didn't comply. As shareholders of ADB and NIB, as government of Ghana, you didn't comply. Now you brought 3 other banks and said that you, the Minister of Finance, will look for money and give to them so that they can meet the requirement. So what was the point in coming out with the policy of recapitalization? Because at the end of the day, the first consequence is that new capital requirement now so rebano. Obi amfa biama. Number 2, omo menye bi amfa amano. One occupation say the mom. I think the other effect was that Bank of Baroda said that as for them, they will not raise that money. So they left Ghana and then they left. So they gave their Bank of Ghana license back to them. That's Bank of Baroda. That's one effect of this whole reform. Then another effect was the collapse using the insolvency route. And then the final effect is that a few banks merged. In fact, some of them who merged, they still couldn't meet the requirement. So Omni Basic and Omni Bank and Basic, Israel Sahara, their deposit, their capital at the time was 70 to 80 each. And when they joined, they were around 150. million Ghana cedi, even after they have joined. That is why it became necessary for the finance minister to go and look for money for them under GATT. So
now
why
I
so now
Mr. Cass, me person will say banks in the and I said, as you were saying, you know, majority of them were unable to meet that target. Yeah.
In fact,
now government is not finding a way to find money for some banks. Why is it that one year the same thing for all the banks?
Well, that's a $1 million question nobody understands. So somebody like me, looking at, I'm going to go to the next point, and after I discuss the next point, it will confirm my thesis that the Ghana government is complicit, or elements, if somebody wants me to be fair or whatever, well, elements in the government are complicit in the deliberate collapse of the banks that they did collapse.
Mr. Cass, Miridi will post to Visa recently, and you made mention of Kennedy Japan's response to that. Okay.
Yes, Mikai, I wrote something like that.
Exactly. Now, who international platforms you see? Create a walk who we will come to that post. Kennedy Japan's explanation or the now, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's really important for us to know the truth. And the year came, you know, I believe say a year for Muti and the beginning to understand. Because at the end of the day, you know, say Obia and meet that requirement, that financial requirement, but they are still working. Not a big bank, airlines is acquired. It doesn't make sense to me in any way. Because if a law is in the country, I believe we say it has to be applicable to all. And I understand.
Yeah, that's correct. And what will shock you, Kwan, is that as we speak, the money government promised is still not delivered to them. So
wow.
I mean, why that deadline? Why that December? Why that December 31st deadline of 2018? Short period, 1 year. Everybody should go and raise $100 million United States dollars. From where? That short period, and then you got, which is government sponsored.
Mr. Cass, is it a compulsory thing? Say every bank has to have the same strength and business line. Because if I have a bank, now I don't want to go for a particular contract. So do I have to still provide that minimum capital for
what? That is yes or no. And the reason why I say yes or no is I go back to this book here. And it's a discretionary power vested in the Bank of Ghana. So the Bank of Ghana in this book is giving power to waive and do that different types of category and capital, if you like, categorization. So they can do it, and the law says they can do it. They qualify, they have the power to do that, and they can do that. In fact, any of the rules that prudential norms now may cast about it, they can exempt some banks from it based on some assessment they will do. So yes, it is compulsory, because if the Bank of Ghana decide that it should be compulsory, then everybody should comply. And no, because they can also say that some people should be exempted, and all of them is backed by the law. So if they chose the latter, or if they chose the former, like the earlier one, which is everybody should comply, fair enough. It is not fair anyway. Looking at the circumstance, the time we were given the opportunity to bring the money and all that, which in my view is not fair. But what is scandalous is when you make it compulsory for all, and you exempt some people, and then not just exempt, you go ahead yourself, the implementer of the policy and the introducer of the policy, to go assist those people to raise the money. And especially when you say you are assisting them, it's just a question of press release. In fact, what is so scandalous, a lot of people don't know, is that press release that came from the Ministry of Finance was not signed by anybody. Nobody signed it. And yet the Bank of Ghana governor referred to it when he was doing his press conference. That letter, the GATT letter, that first information about GATT was not signed by any identifiable person from the Ministry of Finance. Who does that?
That just said, and yet, was it a ghost in a year?
Yeah, but if it's a ghost, why would, if it's not a ghost, they planned it. If it's a ghost that signed it, and if nobody has signed it, if I'm governor of Bank of Ghana, why would I refer to an important exercise as a government of Ghana undertaking to bail out banks in respect of their inability to meet their minimum capital requirements? Why would you refer to a press release that is unsigned by anyone? And yet, in his press release on that in January, he referred to the GATT arrangement. The conclusion, therefore, is that the finance minister spoke to the governor that is what he intends to do. So they've been talking. In fact, the Minister of Finance is listed here under Section 155 as the minister responsible for the bank. That any regulation and the effective implementation of this law is at the beck and call of the finance minister. So they talk, so they plan.
And then the amount for change somewhere. Maybe a phone lines that to say, obey me after our number our screen and so now what be someone because said the NMC economy and I change some our banking sector and I said the brand is it here. Now Mr. Cass them say if in Pokora and said Union banks and other banks need to meet some requirements in the Corona. The law knows doesn't say Yenji or license in free of but rather they should pay some fines. But the question is I didn't say it be a so anti-mia meeting requirements not still no license young revoking not a bit the free of is something that we are still trying to understand. But Mr. Cass, before we proceed, Mommy reading something view Ghana web page. Now I clarify this statement. I'm at here for what is going on. Or say, according to Mijesco from Ghana Web, it's one of Ghana for top online news agencies. I think so. You've heard about them before. So I'll say, okay. According to the central bank, while GN has indicated that the government owns a total of 942.98 million, which million of which 100 and like another. The whole thing is that Bank of Ghana, according to the central bank, World Bank of Ghana, GM has indicated that the government owns a total amount of 942 million, which 102 million represented interim payment certificate, which I'm not a finance guy, so you will explain that. Bank of Ghana assessment is that the PCS total is 30.3 million only, confirmed by the Ministry of Finance on 6th of August 2019. That is just last year, and owned by contractors. In other words, GN Bank say government didn't cut that amount of money, but it's only been confirmed according to this report. Say own only 30 million, which is less than, I don't even know the percentage, because we are talking about 900 and something million, and the Ministry of Finance so I confirm with that. Now, in that relation, what would you say to that? And he continued to say, Mami come you know momna I can answer boom. Or continue to say, Bank of Ghana also pointed out to say GN Bank or GN Savings and Loans transferred $62 million.
Yes, go ahead.
$62 million and another 718,000 pounds sterling. The equity that's be to a sister company in the US without the knowledge of Bank of Ghana or Ministry of Health. Sorry, Ministry of Finance. Now, these two things, is major. I mean, two major things that people have been talking about it, and people are saying, This is the main reason why, Bank of Ghana has to revoke the license of GN, because a claim in the first place said bank in Ministry of Ghana Eddie Omoka, but as you say, Mono is just 30 million out of the 900 and something, Omoka. Secondly, more transfer, and as a bank of GN transfer 62 million and another 118,000 pounds from the company to another company. And nothing amount so you lost, capital. And I read I made that requirement. So it was depositors, sika and I'm with the yes adium. Minim say what is our assembly? One thing so then I've read it to you. So Diana woke up I'm at you for the night.
And thank you very much for this question. Now, my sister one now says people should call in and all that, but I'll plead with you, sir. You give me some 5 to 10 minutes to answer this question straight ahead, without interruption from the callers, so that everybody will know. And the responses I will give, if possible, must be played to anybody else in future who want explanation on these matters. So the first one is that Bank of Ghana, my first response to those two questions, I'll start from insolvency, I'll start from the debt owned by government, and then end with the transfers. And see, first of all, I want to say, in the banking law, in this act, there are two areas where Bank of Ghana can revoke licenses. The first one is under Section 16, where a council ABR in the view who run a bank in a way it's so dangerous to the financial stability system and so on and so forth. But for you to be accused of that, the Bank of Ghana must show that you are doing those dangerous things. And now the other way that they can take your license, in fact, under Section 123, the title is mandatory revocation of license, which means when it gets to that point, Bank of Ghana must take your license. So GN Bank, in addition to all the prudential norms that I'm listing, I'm seeing the punishment, the various sections, Section 30, 90, and so on and so forth. And that's one of the reasons they gave. In fact, the press release titled Insolvent Savings and Loans Companies and Finance Houses, 23 of them. And then the power that the Bank of Ghana invoked to revoke the licensing was Section 123. And after that, the appointment of receiver and so on. Now, the question is, before you can revoke under Section 123, you must first of all determine that the institution is insolvent. So for them to be able to get to that calculation, they must necessarily, and how, the other thing is this, for you to get to insolvency position, you remember, capital adequacy ratio and all that is related to insolvency. And then the way you can get a worse capital adequacy ratio is when your loans are written off. Like they are your assets, but it's gone. Like according to Bank of Ghana, it's impaired. So that's another term. They write off or they impair, or you must make provision for it. Now, so what they did, which Bank of Ghana did quite cleverly, to be able to arrive that a position that GN Bank was insolvent, was to find a way to declare that 900 million is non-existent. Now, the second, you follow the argument so far. So that is why this thing you read on Ghana Web is actually contained, is part of the statement made by Bank of Ghana in the press release for revocation. Information specific to GN Savings and Loans. So for them to be able to come to the determination that the bank was insolvent, they had to find a way to write off or disregard or turn a blind eye to, or say that that money didn't exist. So the second statement I want to make is that the 900 million actually is part of a portfolio of 2.2 billion at the time, which today talks about, which is about close to 3 billion Ghana cedis, because for 3 years, the interest receivables is growing. In fact, for interest purposes, the Constitution talks about the chapter 13 that I read before, talks about interest payable by Ghana government being chargeable on the consolidated fund. So in construction, if you don't pay the contractor on time, you use a Bank of Ghana rate of 27% to calculate the interest. So as we sit today talking, all the monies that we claim from government is collecting interest, and that interest is chargeable on the consolidated fund of Ghana, as the Constitution talks about. And Bank of Ghana actually is the custodian of this consolidated fund. So Bank of Ghana knows that if they accepted the 900 million, then the bank was not insolvent. So they had to make sure to say that the bank was insolvent by disregarding the Ministry of Finance, disregarding the claim by GN that money was there. So this is what happened. I told you I was going to go to deal with the insolvency question earlier on. Now what happened is that the 900 million Bank of Ghana is talking about is this. When they came for the inspection, the asset quality review and so on that they refer to, they realized that the bank had given, if you like, loans or overdraft to one of its companies. Now, they talk about, and let me make this also important point here, that at the time GN Savings and Loans was collapsed, it's only one company of Group Indum
sorry for the break, because I think Mr. Cash network airplay off. But as you can see, we are analyzing the situation of the banking issues there across Ghana. And now we are pulling a lot of arguments and a lot of points in order to deal with this particular issue. I don't know. So what Bana would say, said the banking crisis and as a banking situation na ekoso e Ghana no emu nkyerɛkyerɛmu na ye kanwa. The discussion that we are having is all about Ghana government approach to the banking crisis. And to say now you are tuning in, that is what we are dealing with. You can call in on the number on the screen, and also you can leave text on the number on the screen. WhatsApp. This is an international program, and you use international number, so you can call in or you can WhatsApp. Only calls, not video calls. The Obama also watching what doing. As long as said, Oya Ghana Nino, your GDA say you have an opinion about what is going on, and in Churchill, say, dear government, this is what we are looking for. We're looking at, the approach government, and we've been made to understand. They say there are several things even when you breach certain laws of Bank of Ghana, said you'll be original so the collapses some of the banks, and I said original so the revoke some of the banks and alliances. Now it's not written in their own laws. It's not written in the laws of Bank of Ghana itself. And only idea at the moment. So it's not even written in the laws of Bank of Ghana. And some of them, they have to find a way to make a Niyama suitable for certain banks and other banks, and also so that opportunity to benefit from the government handouts or them, because according to what we've learned so far, actually say none of the banks across Ghana and now ultimately raising that capital. None of the banks, but at the end of the day, some of them are still working, others are not. So Mr. Cass, our reposition itself every year, and I will allow him to continue the now walking. So, sir, you may continue from Mercedes all calls at the moment. I don't want any interruption, so the floor is all yours.
Okay, so thank you very much. And Tinamika said the only company now or was Sika at the bank at the time of revocation, ASR Ghana Gold Fund only contractors eye juma edin kita ho. Na omusika no nso no at the time Bank of Ghana suggested or we proposed to Bank of Ghana said the exposure is that big because we have receivables from Ghana government, and Ghana government money is better than any kind of collateral. In fact, it's liquid. So what Bank of Ghana said at the time was that if that is the case, then instead of us to be very sure that this affiliate company will pay the money or the bank will get their money back from the affiliate companies, do an undertaking, deed of assignment before the High Court and assign all that your interest, the interest of that affiliate is in Ghana government to the bank. So the 900 million Bank of Ghana is referred to is because Bank of Ghana, working together with the bank at the time, agreed that the affiliate company must assign all its receivable interest or some of it to the bank. That is where the 900 million was coming from. So the Bank of Ghana at the time said that they will have to seek confirmation from the Ministry of Finance that those monies are still with the Finance Ministry. So what the Finance Ministry did was to ask for an audit report to be done by GN and the Ministry of Finance to establish the existence of that infrastructure portfolio. That report, audit report, was ready on 1st November 2018. A copy was sent to Ministry of Finance and a copy was sent to Bank of Ghana. So what kind of confirmation do they want? Now, this is what the mischievous aspect of what happened that on the 16th of August. So when the Bank of Ghana says that contrary to that 900 million portfolio, which is money that the affiliate company has assigned to the bank as it proceeds directly from government to the bank. So basically, the affiliate company is no longer in the middle. Normally, the money would have come to the affiliate company, then the affiliate company will come and pay the bank. Is that not the case?
So, but break your down, break your down. What do you mean by affiliate banks?
No, what I'm saying, the affiliate company.
Affiliate companies, yes, sorry.
The affiliate company is a sister company. The other kind of say, what the amount, also accuse bank owners now. Can you now say, what first the acquisition the other companies in?
Okay.
That other company, no, bro, no, and I'm run off friend affiliate. Like,
affiliate.
Okay. As a relation, and a related brother and a sister.
Okay.
So, so the money that they accuse the bank of, the punishment, fine, they still went ahead to give what they owe, what they're entitled to from government to the bank. So, in fact, by the time GM Savings and Loans license was revoked, per that arrangement I have referred to, the government of the Republic of Ghana was indebted to the bank to the tune of 900 million Ghana cedis. It is this money that they had to find a way to write off or to disregard so that the bank will be declared insolvent. And that is why we are in court. Now, that letter that the Bank of Ghana statements Ghana will refer to, also the governor of the Bank of Ghana referred to something, and I'm coming there. They refer to a letter that Dr. Indum had received from the Ministry of Finance. The interesting thing is this: when the audit report was submitted in November of 2018, look, mark the date, nothing was heard from the Ministry of Finance as far as we and them is concerned. They just, Ministry of Finance and Bank of Ghana, they were talking. So they even confirmed to Bank of Ghana the 644 million. They confirmed to Bank of Ghana the 900 million. They confirmed to Bank of Ghana the existence of the infrastructure portfolio of 2.2 billion. So They didn't give us copies of those letters. Bank of Ghana Finance Ministry were talking. Now, if you have that discussion, you wait for 1 whole year after the report was written. So somewhere in August, this letter I'm referring to was dated 7th of August 2019. The letter that Bank of Ghana is referring to as Ministry of Finance confirming 33 million. When they wrote that letter, they wrote a very interesting letter. And they wrote a letter to Dr. Indom, not anybody. Now, that letter was signed by Chancellor Dubois, the Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Deputy Finance Minister, or Deputy Minister of Finance. So when he wrote the letter, he said that the Ministry of Finance, they have been validating IPCs. And as at the time of writing the letter, the IPCs that they have been able to validate is 33 million. And then he gives a breakdown. COCOBOD is this. COCOBOD had the highest, I think 29 million. You see, I have this photographic memory of things. Because this is the thing that really happened. Then Ministry of Roads and Highway was the next one. Then I think something small for Get Fund or so. The total was 33 million. The significant point is that as we speak, that confirmation of 7th August 2019 is still not paid. Now, as to whether you are confirming and the speed at which you confirm, it cannot be the business of Dr. Indom to fast track that confirmation for you. In fact, it's the Ministry of Finance, he decided to confirm. Dr. Indom didn't collect the IPCs from his Elimina chief, with all due respect to listeners and viewers. He didn't collect those pieces of papers from the chief palace in Elimina. And because he's suffering from some kind of jaundice or hallucination, drove to Ministry of Finance and said they should pay him. These are IPCs issued by certified Ghana government consultant engineers on the projects that contractors have come for money from GN to fund. If for any reason you are a new government and you want to confirm, go ahead and confirm. But you don't record that confirmation.
There's a 900 million loans at GN Bank. Ediama contractors a trust a bank or more can mutual GN Bank as a eka. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, so indirectly. Okay. So the money actually is for GGFC, who took loan from the bank, okay, and decided that I need money. My money is with government. They are not bringing it. So give me money. And then when government, and then the bank will ask, where's your collateral? In fact, the bank asked for that with the help of Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana says, you need to collateralize this loan, okay? We said, fine. Then we went to GGS, say, bring collateral. And then they brought the loans that they must get from contractor projects to the bank. So by this arrangement, supervised by Bank of Ghana, the bank, GN Bank, was indebted to by Ghana government directly to the tune of 900 million. So Governor Addison wanted, and why he wanted that confirmation, I don't understand. Because he should know, and he knows. He is a member of the COCOBOD board, and he knows the contractors that COCOBOD has to pay, they haven't paid. He's a member of a number of boards, Get Fund and all of those ones, and they have a list of debts that they owe to contractors financed by Group Indom that they haven't paid. So all they needed to do was that, okay, government money is as good as any money. And is government doing this reform anyway? So just give us a briefing space. Government will pay. In fact, government is the lender of last resort. So aside, and the money, so this money is not any bailout or liquidity support that they give to some capital bank and the rest that they complain about. No, this is our own money. And all that Governor Addison was looking for was a confirmation letter that the money is there. Now, what Governor Addison did, which is also mischievous, was that the letter I spoke about, dated 7th August, which was sent to Dr. Indom that they are going on with the validation process. So this is what they have now, and thankfully, they have instructed COCOBOD and the rest to pay, which instruction has not been respected as we speak. Those monies are not paid yet. Now, August 2019 to when? August 2020 is not paid. Now, so you see, it fits into the deliberate ploy and the diabolics I'm talking about. Now, When that letter was sent to Dr. Indum, Governor Addison was copied because, you know, we were talking to all of them, Auditor General, Governor of Bank of Ghana, Attorney General, and all of that, because we had also sealed some government agencies. So this minister, Deputy Minister of Finance letter, copied all of them. That is the letter that Governor Addison used as contrary to the 900 million claim. How can he do that? So you see where the mischief is coming from. So if people don't follow the sequence the way I have followed, then they'll be blaming shareholder Indum and be clapping for government. How can you use a personal letter? In fact, we also replied that the information they have given is inaccurate. So we need to sit across the table to know which of the IPCs they have found to be validated and what are the outstanding ones. This exercise is not complete. And the interesting part is that when we took the matter to court, the governor of Bank of Ghana, through his lawyers, came to court and said that as for them, they were doing their work. They didn't have an obligation to wait for the Ministry of Finance to finish its work. And I'm saying, on all authority, that work that Governor Addison was waiting for is no work. There's nothing going on. It is just an opportunity or a pretext to use to crucify Indum and his businesses. That's all. Because
but Mr. Cass, let me quickly push this way. You made mention of Bank of Ghana saying they were doing their work. So meaning the work of Bank of Ghana is different from what the Ministry of Finance ECA. But this is what I don't understand. Because at the end of the day, the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Ghana is not under, because it's under the Ministry of Finance. So
exactly,
I didn't only GM Bank can't say, okay, okay, I'm funny, let's assume they are independent in quote, and they are not working under Ministry of Health. Ministry of I work for the Ministry of Health, so I keep on saying Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance. Let's assume these are two separate entities, and Momo say wemo demoka, and almost say omon demoka. I didn't know one for afternoon, Antona say na obi anfa the books are man say wo de meka was so on the meka, because that would have been simple.
You see, you have used the word I used on my write-up you referred to.
It
was this simple exercise that was ignored. It's that simple. And in fact, it was not that they didn't even sit down and meet. The outcome of that discussion was the audit report that the Ministry of Finance requested to be done, which audit report was ready as far back as November 1st, 2018. In fact, an updated version of the audit report is what is before the court, which is dated, I think, July 30th or June 30th. So the IPCs keep increasing. It keeps increasing. Look, the lower disc-off, that sea defense war in Axim that the president went to commission, they haven't paid. There's an IPC of 22 million Ghana cedis. Now, if this COP alone is giving Dr. Indum 22 million Ghana cedis, how can you sit at the Ministry of Finance and say all that he has with you is 32 million? This COP alone under Works and Housing, Cocoa Board hasn't come, Get Fund hasn't come, Road Fund hasn't come. And it's not like we were working with some, I don't even know which government agency doesn't have money. Maybe we're working with Deaf and Deaf Registry. They are the poorest of institutions, right? We're not working with those people. Look at the funds I've mentioned, Get Fund, Road Fund. How can you say that these are institutions of state who are so broke that they can't pay their small indebtedness to Dr. Indum? How? You use 54 million to cook rice in 2 weeks, and you can't get and the sad aspect is that when foreign banks they claim to blame President Mahama for giving a lot of contracts without looking for where the money is. The same question I'm asking is, this 21 billion that Mr. Kenneth has used to collapse banks that needed 9 billion to resolve or to resuscitate, where did he also get money from? So Mahama knew where he was going to get money from to pay the loan. And Honorable Kenneth has done the ESLA bond. The ESLA bond is Energy Sector Levy Act. That act is a petroleum levy that is used to repay the ESLA bond that they raised. So they raised a bond of $1 billion to pay for government indebtedness to the BDCs, bulk distribution companies, those who import crude oil. Now, because those people took money from the banks, the same problem were with the banks, mostly foreign banks. Because they were foreign banks, what Kenneth Ofori-Atta did was to go and look for a bond to come and pay the banks, so that the banks' assets to the BDCs were not written off. Now you come to GN Bank, whose assets, which you claim is toxic, is sitting with you and is through local contractors. Foreign banks, BDC. GN Bank, local contractors. Foreign banks, you go and do ESLA bond. GN Bank, local bank, you go and do impairment and write-off and declare the loan toxic. Then you write it off and you declare the bank. So I'm saying that they saw a line. So it's like, this tree term, so I don't like you, and I'm doing an exercise, and unfortunately, you find yourself in the trap. So let me crucify you by sitting on the letter that I need to write to confirm. And even if I will write the letter, let me even delay the process that will make me confirm in writing the letter that Bank of Ghana was looking for, which in my view was unfair, because Bank of Ghana didn't need to ask for that letter because they already had a copy of the audit report sanctioned by the Ministry of Finance. So with all this going on, how can anybody go and sit on radio and say the bank people were thieves? And let me address the issue of affiliates and sister companies. That Kennedy Agyapong wanted to talk about that. Some of the bank owners, they took their money to their companies and so on. As far as GN is concerned, those monies are not monies that went to buy president, how do you call it, private jets, or build jacuzzis, or build homes for Dr. Indum and his family and so on. Those monies went to an affiliate company known to everybody who matter. It is not, if you like, what I want to refer to as some rogue company engaged in the merchandise of contraband goods or cocaine business. It is a legitimate business they're engaging, and it's open and has been around for the past 10 to 15 years. And they have invested 15 billion Ghana cedis in infrastructure projects. It is only this year, 2017 onwards, that these problems were created, these challenges were created. So when they are discussing affiliate companies, bank shareholders and directors and what they have done and so on in their businesses, they should separate here from the picture, from the rest. So they can't speak generally that there were prudential norms. They can't speak generally that there were violations and so on. And then they put all of us together like the crowd before Pontius Pilate was saying, crucify him, without a single argument to ask, okay, what did this man do? What has he done? What is his peculiar situation?
What is his crime?
When we ask that question, they say, all of them, crucify. How? Is that how you do governance in Ghana? Absolutely not. So and one thing you should bear in mind, and your listeners should bear in mind, is that government officials have not disproved the fact of the indebtedness to Dr. Indum. These people who are sharp communicators and all of that, if Indum didn't have money with them, you think they will keep quiet? They won't. So I think I've given enough response. The other one of the transfers, look, the explanation is very simple. The Bank of Ghana was being mischievous. In fact, in the original press release, what they said was that those transfers were done without proper documentation. Now, nobody knows what proper documentation means. So they should come and tell us which document was proper, which one was not proper. Now,
probably they were referring to receipts or something.
But I'm saying that if you say it's not proper, you come and identify that we can't find this receipt. So where is it? Bring it, that one. And in fact, we did that exercise with them, and they didn't say they were satisfied or not. How do you come and say it is proper documentation? When you do that, you see, they were not lying, and they are not telling the truth. Also, they are just exercising a discretionary opinion, running a commentary to say that we are not satisfied with your interview. You understand? Because it's a matter of opinion. I'm not satisfied with your document. It doesn't mean it's a violation. You get my point. So the thing is, the one mischievous thing they did there was also that the 64 million is actually total transfers from the time the bank was formed. The bank started operation in, the company was formed in 1997. We got license 10 years after, 2006. So every single transfer that Dr. Indom has made to go to IBS for procurement, buy pen, buy books, buy hotel materials, buy raw materials for fresh factories, buy cars, buy computers, buy generators, 300 of them for each of the 300 branches that we had. One generator cost $10,000. All of them since 2007, they just did a tabulation. And it's a wrong way of doing it. And it's a mischievous way. So it's like when you give me a car to sell in Ghana and it's $100,000. Let's say a car is $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
When I sell the car, I go and put the money in my account and I transfer it back to you. You send me another car. Is that not how business is done?
Mm-hmm.
So the first transfer will be $10,000. When you bring the car, I sell it. I go to Barclays or any other bank. I send the second 10,000. In the books of Barclays, you will see what they call turnover. So I would have done a number of transfers of $10,000 each. Let's say I've done 10 times. Bank of Ghana will see it turnover as $100,000. Meanwhile, it's the $10,000 that I've been running my business with. So instead of reporting 10,000, you come and report 100,000 just because you want to create Michi. So the 64 million is like volume of business or volume of activity. It can even be $1 million, turn around 64 times. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that mischievous thing, they just put it out there, and since 2007 to the 2019, then you do that tabulation. You don't consider the goods and services that came into Ghana, which were sold, and the same money repatriated or gone for another consignment. But because the first consignment was $10,000, we brought a car, sold. It went again for second import. You wrote the first 10,000, the second 10,000, you come and write it again, and you say it's 20,000. Meanwhile, something came for us to sell. So you see that the regulator was in a hurry to go and how do we call it? Give a dog a bad name and hang. So please, the people listening, they should not be joining the crucify him song. They should single out like Pontius Pilate was trying to do.
So basically, Mr. Cass, not just say, open say here for say that money now you see a transfer to a sister company was actually used to buy, or it was used to,
anything we bought, yes, and the things came and they saw the receipts. So what are they talking about? And that's why I said that the English they wrote is a mischievous English. That they say lack of proper documentation. What is the meaning of that animal?
And what does that mean? So the proper document means you say what you are saying and what is on paper, it doesn't tell you, isn't it? But meanwhile,
you should let us know which one you're talking about, and then we'll respond. But don't go and calculate 64 million from Adam and Eve. Are you saying that? And you see, the 64 is everything transferred. So which aspect of the 64 is without proper documentation? So what they did is that they put the total. So it's possible that they have issues with 10 of them or 1 million out of the 64. You can't say that even some of the transfers were done through other banks when the bank was savings and loans before. You know, we became Universal Bank in 2014, right? So from 2000. So from 2006 to 2014, other banks were doing the transfers for us. So even if you have issues with documentation, it will be those ones that, if you like, GM Bank decided to do on its own when it became Universal Bank from 2014 till 2019, that 4-year period. But you go and put a figure which is from infancy and write a sentence that make it appear that everything about that total figure you were not satisfied with. It's completely unfair, and regulators are not supposed to do that.
Look, regulators are supposed to be positive thinkers, positive people. They are actually what in technology world you call enablers. That they guide and they hold your hand to build you and guide you. You don't come and sit at rooftop like a judge with hammer to be killing companies by hand. I don't know your children. When parents have problems with their kids, they correct them. And that is why the law I showed you had sanctions listed. You don't go and be taking, and right now, you have denied people financial inclusion. All the branches are collapsed, are rotting. And this is the value. Look, President Akufo-Addo, he came to take our money himself. He said he's making a decision. He gave through GAD. That's a presidential decision. Nobody is fighting him. The people working at the GAD banks, are they better Ghanaians than those who are working at GM Bank? He took money, me and you are money, and said he's operating NABCO. The NABCO people, are they better Ghanaians than those who are working at GM? So even if you don't have money with Bank of Ghana or government of Ghana, even if, couldn't government maintain that bank and protect the jobs of those other Ghanaians who are equally qualified as same status as
that is what I want to come
employees or GAD bank people? I mean, what's the people? The GAD people, they also have toxic loans sitting there. In fact, they are part of the people they call people with the asset quality review, and GN was not part. So GN, they just did calculation. Look, let me tell you something. They said they were doing banks, the savings and loans, then microfinance. When they saw GN had gone to savings and loans, and we had our piece, then they started savings and loans is next. Savings and loans is next. So they said, now we have finished microfinance. For savings and loans is next. They said it for 3 months. Every day, savings and loans is next. Savings and loans. Whose savings and loans was he running to go and collapse?
So that is the question that I want to come to. Before
and then when there was panic withdrawal and the Security and Exchange Commission side, they issued a statement after Gold Coast had left. But before they were asked to tell the industry to calm down. That is what governments do. You assure regulators, you assure investors that the regulator is on top of issue. Calm down, we'll get your money for it. That sentence, which is 1 minute sentence, they couldn't make it. Let me tell you one wicked thing that a lot of people don't know about. When the minimum capital requirement argument was going on in the year 2008, the race for the money, Ghana GN Bank got money from OPIC, Overseas Private Placement Investment Corporation, overseas private investment corporation. They give loans to private companies that qualify, they meet their criteria, and so they are doing better. So they gave GN Bank some 25 million or 20 million United States dollars. At that time, they were already in disbursement mood. Okay, now when UT Bank, this is 2007, when UT Bank and UT Bank, this is 2008 actually, UT Bank and Capital Bank collapsed. Okay, then the OPIC people said, as part of due diligence, let the Ghana government regulator, which is Bank of Ghana, write to them stating GM Bank's capital adequacy ratio or its stated capital, I think stated capital. So all that Bank of Ghana had to do for the bank to benefit from the loan they had gone to fight for, even before this whole reconciliation business started, was a father to write a testimonial saying that this is the name of my child, this is his date of birth, and this is whatever. Bank of Ghana said they can't write any such letters until after the 31st December 2018.
Why?
So that money didn't come. Now, if you are there helping people to bring money, and somebody has want to bring money, the only thing is to confirm his name and his date of birth and his house address as a father or as a former headmaster, and so on. You won't write it. And the person doesn't get admission and he fails in life. You go about talking in parliament and all the webinars they are talking on that prudential norms were violated left, right, center.
Mr. Cass.
Is that how you run a government?
Mr. Cass, can you hear me?
So please, let everybody know the facts as far as our case is concerned. As for other people, I'm sure they also have their different scenarios and so on.
I understand.
So
I understand.
Can you hear me? My thesis, and it's valid, is that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is utilizing his power at the Finance Ministry, at the Bank of Ghana, at Cabinet, and as member of the National Security Council, because Governor Addison is not on Cabinet. Governor Addison is not on the National Security Council. Everything, in fact, Governor Addison doesn't go to Parliament unless he's called. Everything he is doing there is hijacked by Ken Ofori-Atta, and he has put people in all these places. He's put his people at Bank of Ghana, Security and Exchange Commission, Ministry of Finance, and they are stopping letters. Since they came, every contractor who has been financed by Grouping has not been paid. Is it a coincidence?
Okay, Mr. Cass, calm down a bit. Now, but who said, Obika and I said, wait, you are on fire. But try to calm down a bit and let me, oh, sorry, the network is gone. But as you know, the discussion is getting interested. And as you said, I said, you know, today, you know, my beautiful lies, you know, but I'm giving Mr. Cass the opportunity to explain more, because this issue, you know, is something that everybody in Ghana is talking about, and everybody want to know what is going on and what is trending. So it's really important that we get a good explanation of what is going on. And you know, and then I'm seizing all phone calls. Me and be a phone lines, but my most amount for but I'm not going to answer because the time a bit. But I'm trying to give Mr. Cass the opportunity to explain this issue to every Ghanaian. Now, baby, I will show you. You understand exactly what is going on. So, just don't pick up something from nowhere, but know the facts, because facts are really, really, really important. Mr. Cass, now before we go, yes, somewhere near the part two, because we are sure saying some also. And Unya Bra, you must start to Safro, then you come and give us part two. In your background on the part two, but because Obia send him a message, Bina, require a lot of time and or request to say, yes, to our discussion question. So, you better bring it to us. So now, before we go, we concluded by saying, say, I don't say that what was like. Was there any other way not the government of Ghana could have taken to resolve the problem instead of revoking the licenses amount for jobless? Were there any other way and not competing me a person? What is it?
Well, a number of ways.
Was there any other way that you think, as a policy director? So let's assume, say, you are a PPP government, and I'm and as a PPP government, and I'm also says here, and you could have done differently from the MPP and as a previous administration to deal with the banking issue.
Basically, the banks needed some help, some capital injection, and Abambiano. Abambia is a facilitator, and now we facilitator, foreign companies. Then VW almost established and say, even the president issued an executive directive, say ministers or ministries, department and agencies must buy from that company. That is immediately an offer of market. I said before VW marketing in town to know so a return can I enter. I shall say market amount. And see for the banks, what could have been done easily was first of all capital injection as a form of to the banks or to GN for GN to pay over a period. If that was not an option, the GATT arrangement was there, where a number of shares, GATT will take the shares, right, and then later on they will do they can sell it back, or if they decide to sell it to, in fact, the GATT arrangement, that is the arrangement they have made, that at the time of the if the GATT people are not interested and the bank is solid, they can sell the shares to the shareholders, or any other share they will go to the Ghana Stock itself from there. But in our case, if all of those favors, quote and unquote favors, were not going to be done or were not qualified, we did not deserve the grace of God, and we had to be dealt with, all we needed to do was to have our money paid us. And it was just a simple exercise of confidence. It doesn't take more than 6 months to do, to assure the governor who thought he had to be assured that the money existed. You can't come and cancel contracts, refuse to issue IPCs on completed projects, refuse to pay already issued IPCs, and everything stands still. And it's liquidity, it's money, it must move. So, in fact, government knows, and they have been doing those things already. So they needed to have done some of those things in the case of here, and to save 3,000 jobs, 300 branches, and give people an opportunity to expand their own business. That land now where the head office of the bank was, all those who cook food, small companies that were around were picking up, initially had to sack all the employees. Now the companies or those businesses have collapsed. So it's not the direct employees of the bank, which was 3,000. Every small business connected to a branch is gone. In addition, those who were relying on the bank to facilitate their businesses, there's a woman I met in Tema Fishing Harbor who was sending her fishes all over Ghana because of GM Bank. All she needed to do was that you deposit in her account to get the alert, and she has confidence to now ship to whatever you have to sell. That business will be constricted because now there's no way that she can expand to all those people. How is she going to facilitate the business and the trading? So it's not only GN that collapsed and all that, and the government that is serious about jobs had thousands of options to make sure that business. If they didn't do that, then they have their own reason, and which is, in my view, a crucifixion of the great man of the sun, Dr. Parker Sindo.
Thank you so much. And you know, not as a security people for more and Kasal media and answer what took place, it wouldn't have actually happened in any way.
Oh, no. We would pay the contractors and then at the end. The same way Ken Ofori-Atta saw the wisdom to pay the BDC's loan through the ESLA bond. So he knows some right things to do. So why didn't he do it?
But he decided not to do it for all the banks, which is, I don't mean to ask you, saying in Ghana for na Juma Ghana ni area. So if there is a problem, why don't you find the right solution to deal with it? Because right now, I said you say Osika, a lot of people are associated with GN Bank are suffering, and people are calling for their monies. Right now, no, just they are all crying because of a decision Bank of Ghana HK. So to conclude, asem in 2 minutes, but what's the meaning out of ama achieve for omuti obiasi afana nyina no ente or conclusion and saying so, but what's the meaning out of in 2 minutes? Na yemfa yon common emre and part 2 will follow soon. So Mama O'Brien WhatsApp, but it goes so to continue this particular.
To respond to the questions that people wanted to ask me is very important. So let's arrange our table for the questions.
Okay, I will do that. I will actually give the public this time. No, at least you've been able to explain. So near maybe a while. I'm sure someone know ye, but it will be okay. Say you better I part 2, and that one no, we will be interacting with the public, to come with their problems and to ask a specific questions to be they will have a clear answer. So we will bring them a part 2. Ghana the any part 2, part 3. So we will try and bring part 2 of this particular discussion on board, and said a cheerful will benefit, and they will know the whole thing, because this banking crisis people be a candidate and people really don't know the exact. So say and one by saving letter, and you know what, I'm surprised. It looks like you've got one of the best memories in because you're able to call some days, and I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Because and people don't even know say that Shana and Yamelko, because this is what we see. we go to the web, we read some information from the web straight away, but we don't really know the kind of discussion, the discussion that has transpired between ABGN and Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Health and what is going on. But we just code something and near the now ya bepe bread na ya can way be we'll be talking about this issue, banking issue again somewhere next week. I will call upon Mr. Cass. Now what about continue this particular program? Now one time, as I said, bread and can only can Japan. And some no, but Jabet was a bracing because and some of the kind of response, are really interesting. A tier for person who more. Obia send you a message to see I'm so who post in the city in America by a brand can once and then another send your phone and Temka 1.5 hours, but yet the time maybe account because you percent here for a 10 year maybe brassy. So before see a back on but assembling out of in 2 minutes. Na yanko na yabesaba next week here the part 2 abre etiefo so etiefo otio in your conclusion
meda say otiminka
yato nkapa binu.
Okay, so the dynamic Kenya say number 1 banks na egu ye no 9 banks 23 savings and loans and over 300 microfinance companies no obia ne kwedo e de bo no enti se okote se bia obi o okasa on shedan chirem kwedo na oka ho asem no de bo no enti obia mfa they interested in GN de no ye momodin an emusem de GN 4 year send an Pontius Pilate ebusa se na Yesu waye den no obiara ne bon aha ensemoni nti na eche edin enti no obi umfa obi bone me kroso obi example bi o matine se omo de akoche japade omo de atoto dan na ifie ni ade da bi GN de no
e ye be kan wasem mi nyina o amafo
enti no ye 1 2 say at the time GN Bank and Nigerian savings and loans, a license no. Group in them company be anywhere, none is GM Bank and now the GM Bank apart from sa company now or they are buying contractors jumano. And also very important. And the baby say you catch and this kind of come on other companies there be GN at the time bank and call from no company back Dr. Ndum diape ena na one bank no eyo nkitahudia na sa company na Dr. dia no ye friend no affiliate company no e de bank ne ka sa bank sa company no ono ne contractors for your juma one more contractors for bisia e say agbantua ne ka de toso miensa at the time G bank no na sa ya bank ne Bank of Ghana for year no e wo mu se aban sika over 900 million a bank or directly say aban de ma bank no sa sika we e wo ho no eye adansidie pefe say bank no enye insolvent senior Bank of Ghana e kan ana say bank ne ka ontimi ntua ne ka senior na Bank of Ghana e kan edan akese a e wo Ghana nyina generators computers facility even bank need kekekra no sika e fe bi good dollar investors at the price to so wo kan nyina boma bank no wo ene aban sika etitu aban sika no nkoampo etimi tua every depositors money e money yi enti no eno enso point number 3 point number 4 ene say they say aban yesisia ne say na bank no eba ene say say validation na osu oye no say yampampa say validation bi cost wa they can why we are on file report ne mani hu say IPC na Dr. Ndum any contract not nisika koshemu no enye people hu an bi keke kosi say fee edna ahimfie and ode ne subire say ohia skanti finance minister ntua o meka say people we me dituma enye paper we me dituma eyi na emeye adansidie se e kana Dr. Ndum kan ho asem no e wo ma na se enim na ye gidi say wo because e don dey wo omuntimi deny there na sa sika no yentua ma bank no na bank no emfa no ntuma pemfra na onye adwuma kese a obi entimi nye bi da aban ntimi nye bi. In fact the immediate to and say Governor of Bank of Ghana or the obi ba bank wa na offer no advisor no turn report no or say GM Bank and a banker and also say GCB GM Bank and a GM a banker and also say CBG 7 banks I can boom GM Bank in Kwan e wo in Krobata Bebria bank bi anywhere a boy teacher for nurse for any daddy for a yo musika call up and down and the Bank of Ghana M1 bank no GM Bank advice and actual letter command the boss M1 Bank of Ghana M1 GM Bank na ne sika na e wo aban ho no ne nsanka na yentimi fan support bank na bank ni nyina na me ka ba hwese na ye ni da so hu ne se ebeye banka eye ankronkra Ghana ni na ate ne ho emfaso ne ho ye kan say example kwa twie den ne ho fato bi bia it was the first of its kind where even a government-led GCB is limited in terms of branches, but an individual enterprise has been able to build such a national financial infrastructure. May I call it financial service railway line that connects businesses, students, teachers, public servants, and so on, ordinary people, the People's Bank. It should be something that should be celebrated and was supposed to be celebrated and saved. If anybody had any reason to collapse it, they should have thought twice about it. And especially when we had money with you and that money is sitting there, or all it takes is for you to confirm, they should go ahead and confirm it and bring the bank to serve its people and let it serve as an inspiration to private enterprise and to many people who dare to become entrepreneurs, so that the jobs we are crying for now, especially for these free SHS people, when they finish university, what are they going to do? Are you going to do another NAPCO for them? So that the jobs that our youth are looking for will be there when they need it. That is what you do. You celebrate private enterprise and don't think evil that they are going to make all the profit. In fact, those rich men, they don't eat. The food they eat is very small. Dr. Andy, when he's eating, you'll be wondering, this small food you are eating. I mean, the food I eat is plenty than his food. So people should not be thinking of the success of somebody and close their eyes to all the benefits, the 3,000 plus jobs, the businesses people. I saw one of my staff before selling coconut by the road. Somebody working, we come in Colas Bank, then the guy is now selling coconut. This is what you do to your people. You don't empower them. So I think I've said enough of the summary. Let me end here, and the next time I'll come and take the questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your time, Kaz. Thank you for your time. Thank you, my viewers, for tuning in today. You are watching the Eagles Nest show. Officially, it's Mondays and Thursday, but today we call it Eagles Nest Show Extra. We've added one extra day to the days that we normally do the show. And this is because we've got a lot of information to share with you so that you will know what is going on in motherland Ghana, and know the truth. So you will find your way. This is what I mean. Find your way. You don't need anybody telling you what to do. But when you know the truth, let me quote from the scriptures: the truth will set you free. So we are here to tell you the truth. Your person will tell the apostle, say, now the apostle said, the truth will set you free. So this is a part one of the banking crisis. I know. The part two next week. So make a time with us next week as we bring to your doorsteps government's approach to the banking crisis. The part two now what to be actually, but next week the end of the year a quite be also Yabama quite after Dominic say or comment Mr. Nkrumah, for your comment. Simon, thank you for your comment. Franklin, thank you for your comment. Da Costa, thank you for your comment. Albert, thank you for your comment. Sarah, thank you for your comment. Simon, thank you for your comment. Razak, all the way from Bongo, my brother, thank you for your comment. Richard Ahmad, thank you for your comment. Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum, Papa, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your comment. New comments are coming in another year, but thank you for your comment. Amos, Chairman, thank you for your comment. Alaji Sako, thank you for your comment. Obi Biara Utimi Efraya, Yentimian for the Afachaye. We will open the phone lines next week and we will give you enough time. But this time, most of your questions has been answered. But you better going to interact with our guests so that you can ask as many questions as you want. Said you I say, see you Monday. Eagle Show will come to you Monday again. It will come to your way Monday. 6 p.m. GMT. So baby, I will be at 6 p.m. GMT. Echina 6 p.m. Echina 7 p.m. GMT. So yeah, business workshop. Our Facebook room. Yeah, better how I may use technology for business. We are doing this program to help small businesses to stay in this pandemic era. Business is echo from. So make a date with us tomorrow. 7 p.m. GMT. If you don't know GMT, ask Google and you can join us tomorrow. Now, how we use technologies. You know, some platforms to do business, to enhance your business, to stay in business. Some areas to be able to earn extra money. Said you also over to me and Jessica at home for this season now and Niamam Ayade Abobian. So I know a channel the 7 p.m. GMT. As I said, no, it's training for small businesses. Said you over to me and stay in business, over to me and getting in contact with your clients in this pandemic era. So all your business and as of so your business, yeah, then I will encourage you, say, join this particular training. So we are interested that the only thing that you have to do is to inbox me, Austin Justin, or inbox me, message the link to join the training. And you're free, so don't worry about anything. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Cass, for being with us tonight. Now, what about Yati and Sembe Brebe? I see. Medenchia Sonko Emma, Minuyanum Franklin, and Da Costa, Omoye Etimbia, Mani Ejo Mopa. Thank you for all the support. Modema A Girls team. Thank you. Bye. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Now, yeah, you're training. Bye.